Oi, aqui é Gerson Ribeiro, idealizador do Brasil Startup Summit e fundador, diretor executivo do Angel Eye. E nessa transmissão de agora eu vou estar conversando com Arielle Zuckerberg, que ela é investidora anjo lá no Vale do Silício. Ela é Venture Capitalist também, ou seja, investidora profissional da Kleiner Perkins. E ela é a irmã do Mark Zuckerberg, o criador, o fundador do Facebook. E nessa conversa a gente vai estar conversando sobre diversidade no ambiente de startups, a gente vai estar vendo como é que foi a história dela como investidora e como é que ela faz para identificar excelentes oportunidades de negócio para investir, ou seja, como você como startup deve agir, o que é que você deve fazer na sua startup para atingir resultados fantásticos e quem sabe até receber um investimento, seja aqui no Brasil ou no Vale do Silício, caso faça sentido para o seu negócio, tá bom? É isso aí, vamos lá assistir que tá muito legal.
So, hey guys, I'm here with Arielle Zuckerberg and she's going to be talking to us about startups, about her story, about diversity in the ecosystem. So, Arielle, thank you very much for accepting the invitation for talking at our event. Thank you so much for your time. Well, could you talk a little bit about your story, how you started in startups and what you've done so far so people know more about you?
For sure. So I studied philosophy and computer science in college. I went to Claremont McKenna in Southern California. And right after school, I started working for a startup. It was about 80 people at the time called Wildfire Interactive. It was a social media marketing software company. And after about a year there, I was a junior product manager. We were acquired by Google, and I was about a year into working at Wildfire. And I was at Google for about a year and a half working on social ads as a product manager. And then after that, I decided I wanted to go back to a smaller company. So I started working on a consumer productivity app called Human. It was roughly a 20-person company. And in that time, I started angel investing, which got me even more looking at, what are the broad set of problems that people are trying to solve. So I've been involved in startups for about 5 years now, ever since I graduated college.
So you had the experience to work in a very small company, like 20 people. How is that to be inside such a small team and also very many different people working in lots of different things at the same time? How is it in your perspective?
Yeah, so I worked at a 20-person team, a 200-person team, a 20,000 plus person companies. And the biggest difference between, working at a place like Google and working at a 20-person startup like Human is like the amount of impact in the decision-making that you have. The amount of collaboration, it feels a lot more like a family, and you're a lot more personally invested, and you feel a lot more ownership of the product.
Almost everybody in this team, right? I mean, 20 people know everybody. You kind of became friends and family. You live with them.
Yeah, exactly. You hang out at work, which is usually many hours, and they become your best friends. It's definitely more like family.
And you said that you started angel investing. How was this and how many startups did you invest and how did you choose them? Yeah,
so about 6 months into working at Human, I reconnected with a friend, Tyler Willis, and he said he was teaching an intro to angel investing class, asked if I knew anyone who'd be interested, and I volunteered to be a guinea pig for him. Very soon after, I made my first investment, and it's been about a year and a half since I started, and I made 8 angel investments before, making the jump to VC.
So do you have like a portfolio strategy or something like that, investment thesis that you just invest in kind of?
So some of them are like thesis driven. Some were close friends referred me to people. But every angel investment I viewed as kind of it was a learning opportunity. It was a way for me to understand a new market or new business model, a way for me to, get involved in solving a problem that I'm interested in without, going there as a product manager, like being involved in a company. But
it's a lot of commitment, right, to invest in a company. I mean, from the investor side, you're investing time, money, so you kind of learn more, you commit more to that thing, right?
Yeah, you immerse yourself. When you're making an investment decision, you really immerse yourself and try to understand the market, how this company's product is differentiated, and really understand whether or not they can capture a large portion of that market.
Awesome. That's very cool. And one of the things that, what brought you to your current job now? You're a partner, right? So
yeah, I'm a partner at Kleiner Perkins. I have a really good friend who's also a Kleiner who recruited me based on my product expertise and angel investing experience. So that was, I knew I wanted to do VC eventually. And
it's kind of the next step after angel investing?
Yeah, because I love angel investing so much. It's so awesome to help entrepreneurs kind of see the future and invest in the future that you want to see. So when my friend Alex Kurland, who is also a Kleiner Perkins, approached me, I decided, even though it might be a little earlier than I had planned, that I was going to go for it.
Got it. And what's the difference for you before you were investing your own time, your own money? How is the difference for you to be investing in a company like this with a team? And it's different. How do you see that?
Yeah, so investing as a VC at a place like Kleiner Perkins on the venture fund, which is, we focus on Series A, Series B deals versus writing my own angel investing checks. It's very different. So when you're angel investing, it's just you're the sole decision maker usually, and it's like 1 or 2 meetings with an entrepreneur, and you make the decision right off the bat. And you usually don't have that much leverage to ask a ton of questions and do a ton of due diligence because it's a relatively small check. Whereas at a venture capital firm, I look at their financial models. I look at, their cash flows and income statements, and I'm looking at a bunch of stuff, and I'm really trying to turn every stone and ask a lot of questions because it's a much larger check. So I have a lot more, leverage in that sense. If I'm writing an entrepreneur a small check and asking a ton of questions, they are probably just going to, get really annoyed really quickly. So, you are taking on a lot more risk as a VC at a VC firm, just because you're putting a lot more money in. And you also have like the assets of the rest of your partners, like the, wisdom and connections that you can offer to entrepreneurs. For example, like Bing Gordon on my team invented Amazon Prime. And, when entrepreneurs are looking for, great product advice, he is a huge asset to them. So it's not just me and my experience as it is when you're angel investing. But then again, decisions are slower, and usually, it takes multiple meetings with multiple partners in order to make a decision at Kleiner.
Got it. I read a while ago when it became public that you went to this company now as a VC. It was on TechCrunch, I guess, and there was something saying that you were going to bring more the diversity aspect of looking to firms, to smaller companies to get invested. How is that, and why is it important for companies, for startups to be diverse?
Yeah, so there are a lot more female founders, and I mean, as a VC at if we're looking at more female-founded companies, female founders are going to see what the partners at the firm look like, and often will want to. I mean, it's easier to identify with someone and empathize with them. And same with customers. Like if you are, I mean, at a VC firm, entrepreneurs are kind of our customers, and similarly, if your product is going to have a diverse customer base, your team should reflect that, or else you might be, missing out on building something that a majority of the population truly wants.
And how can we make it better for the ecosystem, for bringing more people in? I mean, if you would suggest some kind of a change, or how can we bring more people in to make a diverse ecosystem?
So I think focusing on collaboration and teamwork in a creative format, or that I think really fostering collaboration between companies, or between designers from different companies getting together to collaborate, or all the engineers coming together, and having that camaraderie really helps. A lot of not everyone is like accustomed to talking themselves up, so I think empowering people to build amazing things together has always been helpful, and also attracting people from non-traditional places, who might not have previous experience, but are curious in technology, like finding ways to really bring those people, get them over the fence and bring them in, maybe with industry crossover events or something.
Yeah, something very interesting that we've been experiencing here in Brazil for the past, I don't know, maybe 3 years, is what you guys had in United States for, I don't know, maybe 20 years now. But now the startup communities here are exploding. Here in Recife, which is where I live, we had 11 startup weekends last year, which is maybe this event is you have to build a company in 54 hours. So that was we used to have one event per year. The first one was in 2011, and then in 2015 we had 11 events in the same year. And most of them are we like to bring people from different backgrounds. For example, we have Startup Weekend Education. So we bring at least 25% of the attendees must be educators, directors of schools, or in that universe, And also we had the Startup Weekend Women last year. So because in these events, normally we have 80% of men in the attending event, and normally 20% are women. So we wanted to flip that. So it was mandatory. We had to have 80% of women and 20% of men.
Wow.
And it was amazing. I mean, the ideas were very, very cool. We've seen many different ideas that we had. Me as a facilitator, I never seen the same patterns before, because after you go to, I don't know, maybe 20 events, you start to see the same ideas over and over.
Yeah.
And that event, it was special. I mean,
it's amazing, the different perspectives that that people can bring to the table who come from different backgrounds and everything.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That's awesome that you're able to get 80% women.
Yeah, I think it was around 90 people in the end, and 3 guys, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
not exactly 80%, it was 90 something, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, here in all over Brazil, our main idea now is to bring people together from different backgrounds. We want to have designers, we want to have computer scientists, we want to have engineers, we want to have as many people that we can, because we look to places like Silicon Valley, we look to places like New York, to Boulder and Colorado and to Austin, and we see that you guys, you are very good in collaboration. I think that's the biggest word there. And we want to not to copy what you guys have, because it's impossible, but we want to bring the best that we see outside to our communities here. And this is actually what this event is all about. I mean, we want to bring different perspectives like yourself and other amazing people that could at least bring material and interviews for us to have to expand our minds, you know, to expand the minds of our founders, to bring more people in. So it's only for the last question that I would like to ask you is if you could go back in time and talk to yourself, let's say some years ago, with your mind now, what would be the advice that you would give yourself if you were to start a company, if you were to go inside these ecosystems?
So if I were to start a company, or, you know, if I would go back in time and, you know, the advice I would give to entrepreneurs who are just starting off, I would say focus on team, like get the best team you possibly can. That's the first thing we look for as VCs, is like how is the team, how is the founder? I would give your customers a seat at the table and kind of, you know, constantly talk to them, make sure you're building something that they want. Don't like listen to every suggestion that they say, but obviously like integrate them into the design process, so that you know you're building something that people want. And I guess understand how you define success in your company, and you know, understand what your success metrics are. What are the key metrics that mean that your company is doing well? How are you measuring yourself? I think like those three things are what I would focus on, or tell a young entrepreneur.
Awesome. Thank you very much. This conversation was amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
It was very good to have you here. Hope that soon you come to Brazil and you come to see our companies with your own eyes. That would be awesome. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.